this. It's only a rumor, but I keep hearing a lot about it. And so the rumor is that Falcons receiver Julio Jones is on the trading block. Again, the rumor is, it's a rumor, not saying it's fact, but apparently Atlanta is open to listening to offers. They're like, hey, the door's open. Come in, tell us what you got. What are you going to give us for Julio Jones? And by the way, it's a very vague statement. Like, the reality is that every player, or I guess not Tom Brady, but almost every player in the NFL is available if you offer enough in a trade. Like, you want guy X will give us 7 first-round picks, we're probably going to take the deal because that's an amazing, amazing opportunity. So if you offer enough trade value, anybody's for sale. That's my point. So I'm not saying, like, it's kind of nebulous. I keep hearing, well, the Falcons are listening. I think the phone gets answered a lot more by general managers than people realize. And people are like, huh, what you got? Like, I would imagine if every trade call that happened was announced to the public, people would be shocked. They'd be like, oh my gosh, he might get moved, and he's not going to get moved, but everybody will listen. Now, this trade, here's why I'm covering this. The trade does make some sense. Julio Jones is 32 years old. And by the way, he's still playing at a high level. And if you're Atlanta and you ever do plan on trading Julio Jones, now is the time while he still has value. You can get a lot back for him. And not a lot of receivers play at a high level into their mid-30s, their late 30s. He's probably got a few good years left in his prime, and then it's over. In fact, if his prime isn't already past. Now, Atlanta's rebuilding, and Julio Jones is going to be way more valuable to another team than he will be to Atlanta. So, a team that's closer to a Super Bowl, a team like Baltimore or the Colts, makes a lot of sense. If they add Julio Jones, Lamar Jackson, that offense, they're getting developed. They're another step closer to a Super Bowl, where the Falcons, they're nowhere near a Super Bowl. So the trade would make sense for Atlanta. They can use the pick to help build for the future, get some draft picks, and whatever team trades for Julio Jones, you're probably giving up minimum a first-round pick. Man, you can really build your team. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because I think it might be true. It really does make sense when you look at it on paper. And also, another reason why it's noteworthy is that a Julio Jones trade, that's big news. Like, imagine if, again, Baltimore excites me so much. The Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson, they got 2 good receivers already, add Julio Jones. I mean, I've been begging for Baltimore to further develop their passing game. That would do it, man. Oh my goodness. That'd be so fun to watch. Lamar Jackson, Julio Jones, Marquise Hollywood-Brown, Rashad Bateman, like, oh, yes, I want that. And the Tennessee Titans, they are in need of evolving their passing game. Tennessee is a team no one's talking about. I don't know if they have the cap room or not to trade for Julio Jones, but that would help Ryan Tannehill a lot. A.J. Brown, Ryan Tannehill, Derrick Henry, and then Julio Jones? Boop. Oh, man, that'd be fun. The Colts, the Rams, Julio Jones would put teams like that closer to a Super Bowl. And so it's an exciting thought to think, man, Julio Jones might get traded. That's really cool. I don't have a lot more to say. I guess, Julio Jones is just this incredible, incredible receiver. If he's not the best receiver in the NFL, he's near the top and in the conversation. He probably, if he's not now, there was a stretch where I would say he was for sure a couple of years, year or two ago. And I would be really, really excited if this rumor turned into reality. I would be like, oh, yes. Because his talent, his skill, man, it's wasted on the Atlanta Falcons, a terrible, terrible football team. And I would love to see him on a contending team, making an impact and helping a team compete for a Super Bowl. That makes me so excited. And I will say, it could be worse. Like, at least he has a good quarterback. He's got Matt Ryan. Julio Jones could be in a far worse situation than he is now. Again, at least having a good quarterback is good. And by the way, he's 32 years old on a bad team that can't really take advantage of his skill set the same way a team like the Rams or the Colts or Tennessee or Baltimore could. Julio Jones also has over a 23, I think it's $23.5 million salary cap hit. So he's older, only a few years left in his prime, if you would even call what's left his prime. He's still valuable in a trade. You could get a first-round pick minimum for Julio Jones in a trade, I would think. And the Falcons are bad. So it's very, very believable to me that he could get traded. And I got to say, like, I'm rooting for Julio Jones to get traded. Like, I want to see that happen. I like player movement. I like chaos. I like interesting stories. I don't know what teams. I wish I'd had the forethought to research what teams. I don't know that Baltimore has a salary cap to get Julio Jones. But man, I'd love to see it happen, to watch the Colts, the Rams, Baltimore. I think Tennessee is a team that if they have the cap, that'd be an underrated, interesting move there. I would love to see Julio Jones get traded away and go to a contending team where he can really make a huge impact.